rip out that page. Go on. Rip out the entire page. You heard me. Rip it out. Rip it out! Go on. Rip it out! Gentlemen, tell you what, not just tear out that page, tear out the entire introduction. I want it gone. History. Leave nothing of it. Rip it out! Rip!
You can't please everybody all the time, or even part of the time.
Keep ripping, gentlemen. This is a battle, a war, and the casualties could be your hearts and souls.
It's easy to embrace hopelessness when things seem insurmountable, and yet it's actually just a matter of time until all of the elements come together for things to be all right. I mean, I believe that, you know, most difficult situations will resolve themselves if you are persistent and if you don't give up entirely. And that's what I never did. I never gave up.
Well, I think there's no substitute for hard work. None, zero.
It was as close to the feeling of flying as I have ever had. The experience of that obsessive focus, of having an idea and actually being able to photograph it. That's been the magic potion for me ever since.
There are no shortcuts. You've got to put in the time. And so I think the first takeaway is there are absolutely no shortcuts. It takes time, and it takes a lot of hard work.
You have to study and you have to get good grades, but you certainly should have a good time as well, because that's part of your growing up experience, and there's no point in leading life to suffer all the time. You want to enjoy life as well as the next person. So it's some balance, some blend between the two.
But at some point, you're going to need to find your natural voice and find a way to give voice. So you are you. And because of that, you do have, every bone in your body is an original bone.
I've always, since I was in my late teens, early 20s, and I just never got around to it. I finally started realizing as I was getting older, by, you know, my early 40s, that I better really do it. It's either now or I'm never going to do it.
We are here, and as you struggle to make your dreams happen, to live the impossible, we're thinking of you tonight.
I think some people, and maybe I used to think once you got successful, you could, you're successful and okay, now you can kind of just relax a little bit, but that's not the case at all. You have to pedal even harder, you have to work even more. There are more opportunities that need more time and dedication, and in order to do them well, you have to really hunker down and do the hard work. But I've never been afraid of hard work, and I always tell people when I'm asked, and it's pretty often that I'm asked about dreams and achieving creative goals. That I always believe that the bridge between reality and a dream is work. And I always, in moments of despair and doubt and dark days, focus on the work. I show up and I work and I work and I work and I work.
That thirst or that drive to just achieve what I believe is something as good as, you know, those heroes that I have is what continues to make me want to do this.
The only thing that you can control that influences success in life is how hard you work, how honest you are, and how well you deal with others. You can control those variables.
When you have a dream, and the dream isn't something you dream and then it happens, the dream is something you never knew was going to come into your life. Dreams always come from behind you, not right between your eyes. It sneaks up on you. But when you have a dream, it doesn't often come at you screaming in your face, this is who you are, this is what you must be for the rest of your life. Sometimes a dream almost whispers. And I've always said to my kids, the hardest thing to listen to, your instincts, your human personal intuition, always whispers, it never shouts. Very hard to hear. So you have to, every day of your lives, be ready to hear what whispers in your ear. It very rarely shouts. And if you can listen to the whisper, and if it tickles your heart, and it's something you think you want to do for the rest of your life, then that is going to be what you do for the rest of your life, and we will benefit from everything you do.
I don't think there's any magic in being successful. And I'm not talking about making $1 million or $1 billion. I'm just talking about being successful. I'm talking about being successful in what you guys do at work. I don't think there's any magic. You got to work hard.
Yeah.
You got to respect the people around you, and you just got to go. I've never met a successful person that doesn't work hard.
We are trained to listen to voices that are not our own. Parents and professors fill our heads with wisdom and information, and then employers and mentors take their place and explain how this world really works. And usually these voices of authority make sense, but sometimes doubt starts to creep into our heads and into our hearts, and even when we think that's not quite how I see the world, it's kind of easier just to nod in agreement and go along, and for a while I let that going along define my character. And at first, the internal voice I needed to listen to was hardly audible, and it was hardly noticeable, kind of like me in high school. But then I started paying more attention, and my intuition kicked in. And I want to be clear that your intuition is different from your conscience. They work in tandem, but here's the distinction. Your conscience shouts, here's what you should do, while your intuition whispers, here's what you could do. listen to that voice that tells you what you could do. Nothing will define your character more than that. Because once I turned to my intuition and I tuned into it, certain projects began to pull me into them and others I turned away from.
Keep going. Find that thing you love, because it's tough work. But I think if you can find that thing that really gives you joy, that'll be it. Because for me, it's always been comedy and stand-up and acting too, because of exploring behavior. But it's tough work, and if you can get it, even better. Good luck.